Mr. Speaker, I know the Leader of the Opposition is just visiting his riding. But he would spend more time...
What happened in the House of Commons today was not simply another political argument. It was a public demonstration of how leadership operates under pressure. Mark Carney dismantled a series of economic and personal attacks without losing control of the narrative. Pierre Poilievre struggled to turn familiar slogans into credible arguments. Later in the session, Mélanie Joly directly confronted Donald Trump's trade threats, signaling that Canada is no longer willing to absorb external pressure quietly. Together, these moments revealed how this government is positioning itself at home and abroad, how it is responding to economic anxiety, and how it is redefining Canada's role in an unstable global environment. By the end of the debate, the difference between political performance and political leadership became impossible to ignore. From the opening exchange, Pierre Poilievre attempted to reduce the debate to a simple narrative. Rising food prices were framed as proof of Carney's failure. Mark Carney responded by immediately shifting the terrain. When he described Poilievre as just visiting his ridings, he questioned his connection to the communities he claimed to represent, while reinforcing his own credibility as a policy-focused leader. At the same time, this was a strategic, preemptive move. Carney understood that his international background would eventually be used against him, so he neutralized that attack before it could take shape. Instead of debating isolated policies, he focused on exports, trade agreements, biofuel programs, and income supports. This reframing transformed the exchange and placed the opposition on weaker ground.
We have the highest food inflation in the G7. I've given my theory on why, under his leadership, Canadians are paying more faster than anyone else. What is his theory for his terrible record on food inflation?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I know the Leader of the Opposition is just visiting his riding. But he would spend more time...
I think we'll have to start that from the top. Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Free passports. Mr. Speaker, I recognize that the Leader of the Opposition is just visiting his riding and will be running in another riding in the next election.
Who's riding next time?
He should spend some time, I would suggest, Mr. Speaker, with the farmers in his riding, who benefit from our trade deal with China, $7 billion of new exports, who benefit from the biofuel charge that supports canola production, supports farm income, supports our future.
As the debate progressed, Poilievre turned toward regional frustration, particularly in Alberta and rural communities. He emphasized fuel costs, transportation expenses, and pressure on producers. Carney did not dismiss those concerns. He responded with detailed explanations of exemptions, relief mechanisms, and provincial coordination. He demonstrated familiarity with how policies operate in practice, not just in theory. This reinforced a central contrast. One side relied on emotional messaging, the other relied on administrative competence, and viewers could see the difference.
Mr. Speaker, I realize the Prime Minister is just visiting Canada. Let's go to Drumheller, let's go to Camrose, let's go to Consort, and let's ask them if they believe that when you charge a 7-cent a litre tax on diesel and on gasoline to grow and ship food, when you tax fertilizer and farm equipment, whether that gets passed on in the highest grocery prices in the G7. Is he ready to make that trip and talk about that tax?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I am always pleased to go back to my home province of Alberta. I am always pleased great Katie Lang, I might add, Mr. Speaker. I am always supporting Canadian farmers, as this government does, with new markets, with support for biofuels, with exemptions from the federal fuel charge, with exemptions from the industrial carbon tax, because we believe in Canada.
The focus then moved beyond domestic politics. Mélanie Joly addressed the growing impact of American trade actions on Canadian industries. She linked job losses and investment uncertainty directly to unjustified tariffs. She refused to let these pressures be framed as domestic failures. Instead, she defined them for what they are: challenges to national sovereignty. Her message was unmistakable. Canada will defend its workers. Canada will defend its industries. And Canada will not remain silent when external pressure threatens domestic stability.
Our hearts and minds are with the auto workers, and we're there for them. Again, this morning I was on the phone with Premier Ford and with Vic Fideli, working on new opportunities to bring automaking even more to the country. That being said, what we never hear from the Conservatives is the fact that these auto workers are victims of the U.S. unjustified and unjustifiable tariffs. Why aren't they denouncing that? Why aren't we all working as one team Canada? That's what auto workers want.
Joly then shifted the focus from argument to outcomes. She pointed to battery plants, electric vehicle manufacturing, and advanced production facilities already underway. She referenced specific communities and concrete job numbers. The message was clear. Canada is not waiting for stability to return. It is actively building it. Policy was framed as action, not rhetoric, reinforcing the credibility of the government's economic strategy.
Mr. Speaker, what is clear from this government is that notwithstanding the U.S. tariffs, we were able, after 10 years of creating 3,000 new jobs at the Windsor Nexstar plant, battery plant, which the Conservatives are against. Why being against 3,000 jobs in Windsor? We were able also to create 4,000 jobs in St. Thomas in a Conservative riding. Why are they against it? Why aren't we all working together to make sure that we're attracting new investment in the auto sector? And meanwhile, we're working with the province of Ontario on a great auto strategy, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we will get Ottawa's auto workers' job back. But you know what? My colleague is misleading this House, because what she's missing in the Trillium report she's referring to is in 2016, Japanese automakers were responsible for 44% of automaking in Canada, auto production, and at this point, it's now 77%. And so we will invest in those who invest in us, and we will support those who are making sure that our auto workers are at work.
In her final interventions, Joly widened the lens to the long term. She spoke about supporting companies that commit to domestic production, skills training, and workforce development, framing industrial policy as a national project rather than a short-term response. By placing Canada within a global competition for resilience, supply chain security, and technological leadership, she positioned the country as proactive, strategic, and forward-looking. The message was unmistakable. Canada is not reacting to pressure, it is deliberately shaping its future. Today's session revealed two fundamentally different visions of leadership. The opposition relied on repetition, emotional appeals, and simplified narratives. The government responded with preparation, structure, and strategic clarity. Mark Carney demonstrated that credibility is built through coherence, foresight, and institutional strength. Mélanie Joly reinforced that Canada is prepared to confront external pressure while simultaneously investing in long-term competitiveness. Together, their performances sent a clear message. Canada is not reacting to events, it is shaping them. It is not improvising, it is planning. And in a period of global uncertainty, that distinction matters more than ever. For clear, fact-driven analysis of how Canada responds to pressure, interference, and global power politics, subscribe to Canada Tonight. Like the video, share it, and stay with us.